Hi guys, I've been learning about the countryside code so I can inform you what you need to remember before you go on a walk. The countryside code consists of 5 rules to help keep you and the countryside safe. Number 1 is be safe and plan ahead and follow any signs. Number 2 is leave gates and property as you found them. Number 3 is protect plants and animals and take your little home. Number 4 is keep dogs under control, and number 5 is respect others. Right guys, so I'm just going to get ready for one of my local nature walks. I'm going to be packing a little camera so I can document my trip. I'm going to be packing an ID spotter sheet, so if I see any birds or anything I can just tick them off and add them to my collection. I'm going to have a notebook, so if I see anything I'll just jot it down. I've got my binoculars, so if I see anything in the distance I can just look at it. I've just got my water bottle if I get dehydrated. I've got my waterproof coat for if it rains, and I've got the bag to put it all in, so I'm prepared for any eventuality. Right guys, so just before we set off on the walk, I'm just going to tell you a few benefits of being outside and walking. The first benefit is that you stay active and healthy, you stay fit. The second benefit is that it's really good for your mental health, staying outside and not really stressing. The third benefit is that you get lots of vitamin D from the sunlight. And the fourth benefit is that you get to spend lots more time with your family. The final thing I'm going to be taking is this stick. This is going to be my journey stick. Years and years ago, the Aborigines in Australia, they used these sticks and they collected materials from their adventure, like little leaves and stuff, and they tied them onto this with make-believe string to remember where they've been and their journeys. Right guys, so we're just going to a new route today. Can't go to his old route because it's quite busy and it's hard to social distance. I'm going to be collecting some materials for my next activity. So this is the first plant of interest that we've come across. This is a hawthorn. These little parts here are called the haws, and there's a thorn bush. In the autumn, these little fleshy parts here are edible, and in the spring, these leaves are. So as you can see, we're sticking to the public footpaths. We're not going on any farmer's land because we're sticking to the countryside code and the social distancing. Right, so this is a really nice little plant. I love this plant. It's called a pineapple plant, and if you squeeze the little bud in your hand, it smells a bit like of a pineapple. The first tree we've come across is an ash tree. You can tell it's an ash tree because it's got lots of little leaves that are together but facing opposite each other. It's the last to get leaves in spring, and it's the first to drop them in autumn. And there's a disease on it called ash dieback, which means all of the ash trees could potentially die soon. So this is called a dog rose. It's tend to found in this sort of area. It's got these really pointy hooks on that we've used to make some fishing hooks. It tends to grow pink and white roses, and some of them might have some things called rose-hips in that contain vitamin C. And you can eat them, and they're used to make drinks and rosehip syrup. So this gigantic tree here, it's called a sycamore tree. This is its leaf. It reminds me of a hand and the Canadian flag emblem. It's from the maple family, and when you're having maple syrup on your pancakes, it's usually come from a maple tree. It has little seeds called keys, which you use to play helicopters with. Right, so this is a goosegrass plant. It's really sticky because it's got these little hooks on that stick to you and make it really sticky. It's got little seeds in that my dad has ground up and made into coffee. This is how sticky it is. It's super sticky. Using it sucks. It can stick to anything. Like my jumper, like this. Right, so we've just been walking along. We've come across this. This is a rabbit's foot. Could have been easily eaten by a stag or a fox. It's amazing what you can find out here. So this giant tree behind me here is called the lime tree. In the olden days, Vikings used to use its wood to make shields out of because it's really light but really strong. So they think it's down out there. Might be any stick. As I've been walking along, I've been adding items to my stick, so when I get back I can see my journey. This plant here is called a clover, and this got a really nice pinky purple flower on, and in the springtime when this flower first comes out, you can eat it in your mouth and it's really sweet and tasty. So this plant here is called dandelion. Everyone knows what a dandelion does, and all parts are edible and it can make you leave the bed. And this part here are the leaves, and if you can wash them up and you put them in the salad and it makes for a really nice salad. And the roots in it my dad has used to make a coffee. This plant here is called bramble, or better known as a blackberry bush, and wherever this plant is there's usually a blackberry growing. So this tree here is a silver birch tree, and these leaves, when they're young in the spring, you put them in your hand and add water to them, and then you mush them together and it makes a soap. Right, so this is a hogweed plant. It's a really nasty plant, so we tend to stay away from it. If you on some hogweed, if you snap it knife and get the juice on you, it can make you blister in the sun, so we tend to stay away from it. This is what we've been looking for here. This is the elder tree, but the part that we're looking for is the stem here. You can tell it's the stem of an elder tree because it looks and feels like a toad skin. So I have got permission to cut this, so I'm just going to cut it up into 3 or 4 different sizes. So that's one piece cut. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with them next week. So now I've just finished my walk. I've been on about an hour and it's been a really fun time, and I just wanted to tell you that we've got this whole countryside on our doorstep and we don't explore it enough. And a really fun fact is that most medicines are made from the plants out here. This production is brought to you by Oak Forest School and Discover Dern.